One. Morning Dropouts. We're here for episode 26. My name's JP. I'm here with my co-host Matthew Morgan, Sean Buchanan. Today we're going to be talking about the Analogue life. Actually, it was triggered by... We're having a bit of a chat and was triggered by the old Optus outage, and that's anyway. We'll get into that. But before we jump in, just wanted to say thank you for the support. We had a great episode last week where you all contributed. Yes. Please give us a rating on Spotify if you're listening there. Like, share, subscribe, all that
all that jazz,
all that influence.
Thank you for the comments as well. We got a bit of a hate on YouTube, which is
we love that.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, bring it on.
That's like the first legit hate comment.
Yeah, legit. It's signs that you made it. 100%.
What do they say? Oh, we should do eventually when people actually start caring enough to hate more. We should do like mean tweets.
Yes, I love that.
That'd be good.
So yeah, we'll be talking about Analogue life today, and it was triggered by, of course, like the Optus outage. Like obviously that was like the biggest news of the month.
Totally.
The other day, and I'm personally with Optus for my mobile. Thank God my home internet isn't. So, I mean, we'll talk about like Analogue life and like how basically we're so subject to everything that's connectivity related that like all of a sudden a provider goes down
and it's like the end of the world.
Everything like degenerates into chaos. Are you guys with Optus?
No, I'm actually Vodafone. I was looking at making the street. Yeah, I'm
Vodafone.
Bro,
that's weird. I was with Vodafone when I was like 15.
Bro, I don't know because I was looking.
I don't even know it still exists.
I wanted to get an iPhone, like a new one. I was looking at Telstra, but bro, like I get fuckloads of data with Vodafone, and with Telstra it's like super expensive.
I'm with Telstra.
Because Telstra's the best
network.
It's
not bad.
I don't know, man. It was like $75 and you only get like 50 gigs, and like with Vodafone I pay like $50 and I like negotiated the shit out of them, and I was like, I need this and this.
Fair enough.
I feel like their brand is nowhere these days. Remember they used to just be everywhere?
Oh,
back branding,
back
like
in the day,
ads, everything. Like the para Vodafone store.
They're big in Ireland as well, I'm pretty sure.
And the UK.
But apparently it's a different Vodafone, I heard, even though it's the same licensing and branding. So I don't know, weird one.
It's probably just used the branding and like its own or the telecom. It's run by someone else. But what about the fact that like honestly, I just thought, my phone's down. But I just didn't even, like when I rocked up to Elevate to the cafe and they had, like we had to pay by BSP and account number.
Oh, right.
When we rocked up to Elevate, the cafe, I didn't realize that, I don't know why, it didn't like register with me that people would have their FPOS machines.
Totally. Yeah, the vast impact. When I had the cafe, it went down with, I was with Tyro, and there was a big like lawsuit with all the businesses that went down through Tyro, because I'm telling you, it was like a week, 10 days with like no FPOS.
10 days.
It was a nightmare.
Wow.
Bro, so what did you do?
I literally had to just do like pay ID, and like it was a nightmare. It's like the last thing you want to do. You don't want to like look like you're like asking for the money, but at the same time you're running a business and people are like, I just want to tap and go to work. It's convenient. So, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. Wow. So you think about the vast implications beyond just not being able to call, your friends or your family or whatever it is, but then it affects businesses and then businesses to other businesses and just like the flow and effect that has. But
you couldn't even make sales calls.
Yeah, literally.
Phone numbers were failing.
So your phone worked obviously.
My phone worked.
Obviously outbound calls you couldn't call anymore.
Correct. All our prospects. So did you have any impacts with the Optus outage?
No,
so technically, like that's the thing. Like technically, you were financially impacted by that.
Correct.
Right? Like you have been like you have
numbers.
a claim. So this is the thing. I always think to myself, like, I don't know, like my wife's a lawyer, but I don't know much about the whole class action thing. But I would imagine that if Optus weren't to do enough,
there would be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh.
But she works for an insurance company, but she's a lawyer.
Oh.
Yeah. She was at a firm before.
Wow.
But like, she always talks about class action lawsuits and stuff, and about how like when there's enough people that have a claim, a firm, or as I understand it, for those, watching and listening, as I understand it, there'll be like a firm that will then represent the class action, and then all the people I think have the opportunity to like, I don't know if it's like write in or give
That's
their
what happened
permission
with
to
Tyro.
represent. Oh, is that what happened with Tyro?
That's what happened with Tyro.
Yeah.
But so they gave us an option, and I think at the time it was like either you can continue to join the lawsuit for like and do it as part of like this group claim, from what I understand, of like a dollar figure amount. It might have been like millions of dollars.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, but I think I opted it out at the time, and it was like, if you sign this, then we'll give you like 50 to 100% off all your Tyro, like because they take out an amount per month from your transactions, your percentage. And I think at the time I was just like, I knew eventually it would like probably be beneficial if I had gone along with the class action lawsuit, but I just couldn't be effed at the time. And I was like, I'll just get it over and done with. I didn't want to have to sit there going back and forth with lawyers. And I think that the process is still
going, bro. It takes years, but they want that stuff to disappear.
Yeah, they do.
So, because not only obviously is it bad what happened to Optus, but like when that stuff drags on, all the media is just reporting on the class
Yeah.
action, and it's just like, and it hasn't been a good year for Optus. Like they had the data breach a year ago. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Huge data breach.
Also, though, but that's like whenever there's two big juggernauts in the space, especially like the market leaders. So you've got like Telstra's and Optus. I remember what happened when Tyro went down. Square went like through the roof. Like I went to Officeworks that day, and all those little like tap and go little Square readers that everyone was using, they all sold out like straight away. And I had spoke to like people that were, especially businesses that are using Optus, straight away they're like, if I'm a CEO or a business leader, HR leader, whatever, like someone who makes like a CFO, someone big up in the business, they're just like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to go to Telstra.
It creates a massive market for someone to come in and take over if that's going to be the case. But how long was Optus out for? Like 6 hours?
Bro, it was a long time. I tell you how I knew. I got up for the gym, and it was like 4:30, whatever.
Okay.
Go to the gym.
All right, Goggins.
David. Still got there 45 minutes later.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I just started at 6 o'clock.
So I got up and I went on my phone, and I don't know what it is about getting up that early. It's really dark and it's a bit gloomy. Got on the toilet, I saw SOS. I don't know why the first thing in my head is I thought like another country invaded. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, have you ever read like The Day After Tomorrow?
Yes.
What a fucking book, man. What a book. And I saw SOS. I'm like, oh, what's going on? So obviously I was connected to Wi-Fi, and I just typed in Optus outage, and then there's like, you know, the Down Detector website that just detects all the outages, and I went on it, and it had like a flat line of like no reports, and then like from 4 a.m.
Boom.
skyrocketed like 200, 300 reports. But it must have just happened. And like I think it happened from like 4 a.m.
Because what have they done? They try to give free data or something? How did they try and
bro, they
how did
sent
they
me
try
an
and fix
email.
it? Or what was the whole outcome?
They're like,
of that?
we're going to give you an extra, like an additional 200 gigs of data. I'm like, bro, I don't even get to 50% of my data.
Same.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing for them to offer. Like, but I was then talking to Kristen about it, and I'm like, okay, let's just say 10 million people were impacted. I'm like, oh, they should have given us like a free month. Think about how much money that would have cost.
Bro, literally.
They can't do that.
But if they got that class action lawsuit, if that does come, like, you know, what would have been the best option for them?
And,
or what is the best option
there's
for
like
them?
the brand damage, bro. I can't even imagine if you're a business owner and like that impacted you, which it would have impacted the vast majority of them, and you could actually quantify that. First thing you're doing is you're going straight to Telstra. Like I can't imagine how inundated Telstra must have been.
Oh my God,
the last
literally.
week.
Would you have gone to Telstra?
If I was a
6
business owner,
hours?
yeah, 100% I would have.
If I was, So
It depends on the impact, I guess.
exactly.
Yeah.
But like the other thing is that like everyone already knows Telstra's the best. We all know it. We've
Telstra's
known
the
it for
best.
ages. They've just been more expensive. But this is like that whole like the sales argument of like you
Pay for quality.
You pay peanuts, you get monkeys, right? So everyone's already known that. So it's just like kind of reaffirmed Telstra's position as like we
The
are the
authority and
reliable, like we are the Qantas.
Yeah.
Why is it
Yeah.
that I swear there's like, isn't it funny? Like Qantas, Virgin, Nike. I don't want to say Adidas, but Adidas. Nike is
Yeah.
just supreme, and then you've got Vodafone, Telstra. I mean, excuse me, Vodafone's not even in question. Vodafone's like Reebok. I love
Hey,
Reebok.
Reebok's- I like
Reebok's
Reebok.
going off these days.
Reebok is dope.
Puma.
Puma, maybe Puma.
That's actually how you say it, I think.
Puma.
You know, see, it's funny how like opinion leaders, like you know, Rowan Browning, the sprinter, the Aussie sprinter, he was at the Olympics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's sponsored by Puma.
Puma.
And I'm like, so that's a little bit cooler now. It's like when Under Armour sponsored like Jordan Spieth and then all the other. Bro,
Yeah,
Under
started coming
Armour
out.
was.
Dude, Under Armour killed.
Under Armour
Steph Curry.
was.
Dude, they got The Rock.
Yeah, but bro, Under Armour was like
Nobody.
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Like you
100%.
wouldn't be seen dead wearing Under Armour.
Yeah.
I know,
Like
right?
5 years ago.
Under Armour's kind of fresh though, like to be honest.
It is now,
Yeah.
but that's because
perception.
it's cool now.
Isn't it funny, like brand perception? I know we're gonna segue this topic from like Analogue life and like the Optus outage as a bit of an introduction into like looking into the past, I guess, a little bit about how all good JP.
Yeah,
on
it was just shimmering.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. I want you to segue into the topic as it stands today.
So anyway, we were just talking about the Optus outage, and we're like, oh, you know, like how much are we subject to technology? And obviously, like we didn't even talk about the fact that like hospitals lost connection. Do you guys
The
see that
trains?
article in the news where
Trains in Melbourne?
a lady didn't get to speak to her mum before she died
Oh,
in
wow.
ICU because they didn't have connection, and like the trains were down. Like, and then we're just thinking about how like much of a slave we are to modern technology,
to our phones.
and then like I was just thinking more about like just like I mean obviously us growing up and like how there wasn't just that much reliance on like if something like that happened 10 years ago, we've got the landlines,
Yep.
and you know what I mean, like there would have been ways for people to connect.
Yeah, well, the biggest concern back then was I couldn't play my Snake game on my Nokia 2210.
Do you remember what was the one with the red ball?
Oh,
Bounce.
What?
Bro, what a
Wow,
game.
bro, what a game.
What a game.
What
I
a
could
game.
literally sit on hours on that thing.
Yeah. So I think when we talked about technology, I spoke about the first time I saw my sister have a phone. Like a,
Oh, yes, you did mention that.
Yeah. And this was back, I think I was like 13, 14. And my cousin had given her this phone. It was a Nokia. It was a brick. I can't remember what the type was. But we were just watching TV and she pulled out this phone. And I was like, well, what's that? She's like, oh, it's a mobile phone. Like I can message, my cousin's name is Jared. And I can message Jared and see what's going on. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I started watching TV again. I didn't even like try to investigate like what this whole thing was. And then obviously from there, I started picking up. So that was crazy. I can still vividly see it today. Like on the orange back screen, the orange light in the back with the Nokia. Yeah, it was crazy.
Remember you had kids at school, like the kid with the phone was like, oh, they're loaded.
They're loaded, yeah.
Like, the flip phone and not only that, Josh Bullis had the color 3 flip phone.
Yeah.
Remember 3?
Yeah.
3 mobile?
Yeah.
See, our stage was a little bit different, and you like. I remember there was a girl that.
He grew up with the phone.
I grew up with it, but I remember a girl coming into.
Did you have one when you were in school?
But what phones were around when you were young? Like what?
Like I remember in year 4 or year 5 maybe. Like the girl had like the first iPhone.
Oh, wow.
iPhone 4. I think it was the iPhone 4 with the first one was Siri, and she's like, "Oh, look at this.
iPhone
Hey
4,
Siri."
Oh, 3, yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa." Like what the
You had
hell?
Siri in year 4, bro.
I know, dude. I'm
Bro,
so
the
old.
Nokia,
You're young, bro.
I'm so young. You're so old.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
the
so old.
Nokia that my sister had was the one line. Like you could only see like the screen was like that small. You could only like type one line. You couldn't
Yeah.
see anything
Oh,
else.
see, no, I'm not that old.
No, yeah, bro. Yeah,
That's so annoying.
This
bro.
was back in the day.
Click. Oh fuck! I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
past
And
the wrong
but you
line.
didn't even need to look at it because you're like C's like 3
3.
tabs.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But then you
Yeah.
kind of like mess it up if you go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if you don't do it quick enough,
yeah.
it'll like go
Yeah.
to the next letter.
And at school, and obviously not for you, but when I had a phone at school, it was like you'd be like tapping away like down your side.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously you get told off if you were using your phone.
Yeah.
But there was, at that time we were still using. Now it's like all laptops, bro.
Yeah, literally.
It's all laptops.
iMessage
Yeah.
even on your laptop.
People don't handwrite at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Like
Well,
I wonder if they get them to do it just for the sake of like.
There is a
I don't know, just like familiarity.
They still do it. There is a dope product that I've seen. It's like this guy that I follow on LinkedIn.
I know what you're talking
it's like
about. Remarkable.
Is it Remarkable?
Bro,
Yes.
Rodney, my cousin's
they
got
are
one. We're
dope.
using it. Yes, they're unbelievable. It's called e-paper.
It feels
literally
like paper.
feels like paper. It's a pen.
Does it touch like paper?
No. Sorry, when you're drawing.
When
with
you're drawing, it's got the
feels
consistency of
It
paper.
feels like paper. It has an eraser at the back.
Yes.
Like electronic eraser, you can erase.
And
what
it
you're writing.
saves the thing electronically.
It's amazing, Rodney, and he loves it.
Oh, so
He
transfer
loves it.
from that onto your laptop.
Well, you can.
It's
send
almost
it.
like an iPad, but I would compare it more to like what are those little ebook viewers?
Kindles.
Kindles.
Kindle.
It's literally like it looks like. Was that? It wasn't a fart.
Oh, bro, trust me, you know about it.
Oh, in a few seconds. It's like so it looks like, so obviously it doesn't hurt the eyes.
Yeah.
Like that's the nice thing about Kindles and stuff is they look like, they read like they're a piece
Correct.
of paper. But also like it's just sick because you can draw on it and then he was like email me we were using it yesterday. He emailed me the paper.
Because sometimes you don't want to sit there and type or
bro.
sometimes you just want to write without having paper. I thought it was a great product. Is it pretty cheap?
Nah, they're like a good $500, $600, $700. Oh, it's
Damn.
not
Wow.
bad, but
Comparison. But just like talking about sort of like this shift from analog life into like the modern world as we know it, at what point did it switch? Like it almost felt like such a seamless transition. And I guess like you think about like over time how, we projected into going from, what we grew up on, we grew up in slightly different eras. But I think there's got to be a couple of catalysts, if you will, along the way that had really shifted us into the stratosphere of modern life as we know it. And the thing that comes to mind off the top of my head, which we've spoken about before, is like the introduction of the iPhone when Steve Jobs gave that keynote. And he's like, this is iPhone. Now iPhone is like, this is iPhone. It's like, fuck, it's the same shit as last year. And we keep paying a premium for it. But iPhone, when it first came out, we'd never seen a phone that was like wall-to-wall LCD screen.
But I think it's a little different for you as well because I saw the progression of the phone when it first came out to iPhone. So seeing the iPhone was like, okay, it's another feature on the back of these other ones. Where you came out, you were like...
Because even before that, I remember the closest thing to that was the BlackBerry.
no, there were the PDAs, which were like computers on like a little Remember those
Yeah,
PDAs? They were
and
like you can get a
unlock-
TomTom.
Yeah.
Put them on the
True.
TomTom. Like,
Yeah.
So those were like but those were more like, oh, this is a little computer as
Yeah.
opposed to like this is a mobile device.
I mean, you're
iPhone.
right in terms of the iPhone, like obviously blowing the bricks off everyone,
Right.
in terms of the technology that it had, but just seeing the progression, even going from that Nokia to a flip phone to having a camera on the phone, etc., etc. I think for myself, it was that progression of like, okay, well, that's an iPhone. Oh wow, like what are these apps and what are these things that we can do on there, which was pretty amazing. But for you, like coming straight into school,
Yeah.
you would have been like straight on the iPhone,
Totally.
as you said.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember just seeing like, you know, like laptops and like Apple products just became a thing. And I remember the iPad first came out and I was like, whoa, like this is so cool, all this new technology. Now I think we're a little bit conditioned and like we don't really expect too much. And the biggest thing that was a shock to the system was AI, which I'm sure naturally we're going to talk about talk from analog life into digital life. But I think, you know, one of your points you were mentioning before is like, how did you have you ever had an experience where, you know, you haven't had your phone for a day, or have you ever cracked your phone? Like, have you ever had that?
Yeah.
And like, how annoying is it?
Yeah, well, before I came to Australia, I lost my phone when I first moved here, so I didn't have a phone for like 2-3 months. I didn't actively just go and buy a phone.
Right.
months.
Yeah, 2 months.
Isn't that fast?
What'd you do, bro?
I was like 21. So when we came over, I just used a landline to
Billy,
get work.
and Billy can't talk either. So.
Yeah, so that was back when I was 20, and then I just used my mate's phone. So when we used to go out, because that's what I was here for, just to go out and party and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'd use his phone to hook up with girls and stuff. So I'll grab his phone and then whatever. Then I'll be using his phone. But in terms of not having my phone or like going out, last year I used to do no phone Fridays. So
I love this guy. I love this guy.
I don't know why. That's so funny. It's
got like-
fucking. That's good.
Yeah,
It
literally.
is good.
yeah.
I like for each day of
But
the week,
I
it's like
want
an
to hear more about
acronym.
this No Phone Fridays.
Yeah, so I was just like, I just wanted to have one day when I just didn't have my phone. So at that time I was teaching.
That sounds hectic.
Yeah, at that time I was teaching and I was
Revolutionary.
Yeah, it was mad. I was teaching and I was running the campus. So I just said to all the staff and stuff, I said, hey, look, I'll still be on my emails. I'll still be on my emails if I need to with my laptop. But I just wanted to be off the apps, Instagram, Facebook, all those types of things. So from when I went to sleep at like 10 o'clock at night on Thursday night, I put my phone away and I didn't open it back up until Saturday morning. And the first time I did it, it was quite hard. Like I was like, even just to check the time.
It's just like a knee-jerk
even the one thing
reaction.
to check the time,
Yeah.
and then
You're so antsy.
It's not. It wasn't anxiety. I didn't feel like that, but it just felt like I was missing something. There was something that I needed to do. But after a while, I sort of went away, and I sort of started looking forward to not having it throughout the week. So yeah, it was a good experience.
Kristen,
Like, it was pretty good.
I might try that, Kristen. No phone Fridays. Maybe no phone weekdays. I'm just kidding. No. She's going to yell at me.
I'm now at the office.
Yeah, out of office. I was thinking about when I actually two things there. One that just cracked me up when you're like, using your mate's phone to like pick up girls. I remember like back at like, you know, the year 6 dance and stuff, like no one had phones.
Yeah.
So you would take a notepad. I literally take a notepad and a pencil and like you'd write down,
Yeah.
like, can I get your number?
Yeah,
In
you
year
take it-
6?
Yeah, year 6 or year 5.
Yeah, so
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
The dance.
Yeah, you take a
notepad
yeah.
and you'd literally like write down numbers.
numbers,
And the funniest thing about it was you'd be taking down landlines.
Yeah.
So you're
That's
calling
right.
home phones and shit.
And then you go back to the boys at the end. How many numbers did you get? How many numbers did you get?
How many numbers did you get?
We did the texter on the arm. So you just get a texter and
Yeah.
you just write on the arm. Yeah. What's your number? Yeah.
Um,
But that was back in the day when you're in year 6 when you went to, like, I don't know about your school, but we weren't allowed to dance like, you know,
Oh, yeah. No,
too close.
Yeah.
2 meter rule.
Oh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it was just like everyone was like real nervous. And
Yeah.
stuff back
Anyway,
then,
yeah. Girls on that side, boys on this side.
But now we've
Yeah.
transitioned into a period now where you've got iPad babies. Like, I don't know, we did what
Bro,
grinds your
it's-
gears last week, but this one actually really pissed me off. I hate I've had kids.
I know, but bro, you just the thing is, you don't have the curse of knowledge. You don't.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, I agree. I would love to think that ideally I wouldn't, but the fact is that I know heaps of good parents, and all of them,
Yeah.
their kids still watch TV or they still use an
Yeah.
iPad. I can't. exactly. I'm not, and that's the thing. I don't think that necessarily makes them lazy. I just think that I don't understand the circumstances.
Yeah, but I also think that I've known a few people that have said
I'm
the
gonna
same thing
absolutely
as you.
slaughter you if your kid uses a fucking iPad.
I'm gonna slaughter my own kid.
I might
Yeah.
break the kid's iPad.
Yeah, but like I said, like I've had
break
some
your
friends
head.
that have said the exact same thing
Like
as
my
you.
fucking kid's iPad.
Yeah, had the exact same thing as you, but they've got them on the iPads at some stage.
Yeah.
Like whether they're 2 or 3 or whatever it may be. Like not a long time, but for a short period of time when they just need to have a bit of time.
Of course, I think I'm talking about like kids that are like.
Wait,
Fuck, shut up.
It's just like when I'm walking through Woolies and I'm just like maybe doing some grocery shopping or I'm gonna go get some food or whatever, and there's just like a 13-year-old or 10-year-old kid just like walking and they can't even like they're playing like Pokemon Go or some shit and they're like,
they're getting in your way.
Wake up out of the real world, mate. Hello, far out.
Well, that's what technologies had done.
Yeah, the joys of analog life.
The joys of analog. Speaking of like kids and stuff, I was talking to my cousin the other day. I was talking to Rodney, and we were talking about how like, what do you want to do, and like, just life, and like, I want to, it'd be nice to have a house on like a quiet street and a cul-de-sac, and we're talking about how like, we want to like have like a street where our kids can
go out and
like play and kick a ball and stuff, and obviously like when on my street when I was growing up, me and my next door neighbor Nick, we used to like play cricket or kick a ball around. My cousins used to come over. Had a hoop on the driveway, and then we were talking about that. And we're like, yeah. And then I'm like, bro, but fast forward 10 years, we're going to be standing on the driveway and saying, bro, why did we buy these fucking houses?
Because the kids will be inside.
Why did we buy these houses when our kids are inside with a VR headset on, playing Fortnite?
I know. Why do I have a mortgage? Just fucking.
Why am I playing Fortnite with my son?
I know.
But that's what I mean. It's like now I just thought about it. Like obviously I've only lived here for a year and a bit, but neighbors used to get pissed off because we used to kick balls at their cars. People used to lose it because there'd be kids playing on the street because they'd almost hit them or whatever. You just don't see that anymore. You don't really see kids playing on the street.
I can't remember
some parents might even think you're irresponsible if you let your kids play on the street and you're not like with them. Potentially.
I literally cannot remember the last time I've seen a bunch of kids playing
footy or whatever,
or playing
cricket,
basketball,
basketball on the street.
Bro, we used to do that. Or go ride your bike. Kids are like, what? Why would I do that?
Yeah, but back in the day, things were reckless. Like you wouldn't think about like people being snatched off the street and all this little stuff like that. I think it comes to that as well, where people are afraid of letting their kids go out into the world.
I don't think that stuff is that. I think it's like because we're so aware of like everything that happens because on our phone we hear about every news article.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
We're so like exposed to like the 0.5% of like these bad things that happen.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what I mean. Like if you're in your area and you see something on your phone or on the news that says, oh, some kid's been snatched or something's happened, like there's been gunfight somewhere else, then you're not going to be like, oh, go play outside if it's in your area. But back then you didn't really hear about it unless it was like the biggest thing on the news at 6 o'clock.
And there's no like Facebook community groups and stuff like because people are calling all that stuff.
But remember back in the day when people used to have neighborhood watch or the sticker?
The green one.
You could go into their house.
And look, that's true, and I appreciate the sentiment, but I also think the majority of parents aren't letting their kids play outside. Not because they're afraid of them getting snatched or because of the potential dangers, or even one of them. I feel like the majority is because the kids just want to fucking sit down and play their iPads. Yeah. Do you know what I
mean? But it's like you say, like it always comes back down to the parent.
It does.
And their choice of them, okay, go play outside or here. So I'll give an example, like during COVID.
We'll rerun this episode when one of us has kids.
Yeah. When I used to live in Pimble and then there was a park down the road.
Did you live in Pimble?
Oh, so I've lived there. I used to take Billy down to a park, and we never used to take him. There was never anybody really there. Sometimes there were kids there, and then COVID happened, and then all of a sudden, man, the park was packed. Like there were kids and there were families and everything like that. And obviously I didn't have any kids, but when I first saw that, when the whole pandemic happened, I was like, man, this is fucking hectic.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
And obviously there was still technology at that time, but the fact that the families were at home or the parents were at home now and they were taking their kids outside to play, I was like, man, that reminds me of back when I was with my father and he used to take us rollerblading and roller skating and all those sorts of things like that. Even though back then we had a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
My dad would be like, "You're playing it for this amount of time, and then we're going to go outside and we're going to go play at." There's a place called One Tree Hill in New Zealand. It was a massive park. It's like Centennial Park, and we'd always go there and play. But going back to that time, a couple of years ago, I was like, "Man, this is unreal. Like this is mad. Like hopefully this stays when COVID, goes away or was
Naturally
never here. But
dwindled.
but it was it was awesome to see. But you never really see that. Like
I just had a massive flashback. Like I remember that. Like I remember school holidays come around. Like I don't know, it's a thing with all cultures, but like Arab parents.
Did you go to Granville Park?
Bro,
COVID?
Granville Park. I was living at Granville Park.
Bro, but did you remember the helicopters flying overhead?
Bro.
Because Kristen used to live near Granville. Her parents lived there. And we went to the park and then like helicopters flying overhead, like
Watching us.
staying 2 meters away from it. Was like the military
Bro,
really
it was
flying
literally like
overhead.
because we were a 5 meter rule. Oh no, we were the 5K radius.
No, and you could only have
At
a
that
certain
time.
number of people
Together,
like
yeah.
walking. Bro, these
Oh my
rules.
god, that done my and bro, and me and my cousin. So I remember during COVID, like, and I guess this runs off the back of you're saying switching from analog life to staying inside to going out and playing. You need fresh air, you need that social life because you're just trapped inside for months on end. But we ended up making the dash to Bondi a few times during COVID when it was a 5 kilometer radius.
Oh yeah.
I was like to my cousin, listen, bro, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to pick you up. We're just going to go for a swim for an hour. We'll come back. We'll get some food and we'll come back home. Like, we just felt so restricted. We got to Bondi, bro, and everyone was just chilling, hanging out like it was normal. And I couldn't
There was
help.
that like divide, east and west.
Bro, I could not help but feel like, fudge these guys, bro. Like, F these guys. Like, this is bullshit. I got helicopters patrolling my house because I can't go outside to say hello to my neighbor. But these guys can go outside and share a cigarette and drink alcohol and party on the street like shit's normal. But we got there and my cousin, I was like, okay, I got to dress like semi like Bondi so no one picks up.
No one gets suspicious.
So no one gets sus. And my cousin rocks up.
What's up, dude?
He's got his bum bag, a pair of TNs on and a Nike hoodie. And I'm like, cuz, they're going to know that we're
You can take the boy out of Granville. You can't take Granville
out
out
of the boy. 100%. Anyway, we got there swimming, we're having a good time lying on the beach. And then he's like, fuck, do you reckon I look like that I'm not from here? I'm like, what do you think, bro? It was so funny, man.
You know, that was the easiest hack that I don't think anyone caught on to for being able to get outside your area during COVID was
Doctor's appointment.
No,
Or inspections.
Bro, I would, and keep in mind, inspections are happening all week. So all I would do is I'd load them into my phone. Some of them I would actually go to.
Yeah.
Some I wouldn't.
Most
and
of
I'd
them you
literally just go Coogee, Randwick, Bondi. I didn't get pulled over or anything, but that was literally one of the
It was fear, but at the time.
inspection. One of the key rules was like, okay, yeah, well, or exceptions was you
Very
can go
smart.
out and look at inspections. So I would literally tee them all up. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Oh no, I'm looking for a house, whatever. You know? Inspecting.
So why are you
property.
swimming on the beach here? Oh, I'm just waiting for the inspection.
Yeah.
It's coming up soon.
Yeah, I guess with Nostalgia Life, I think one of the things that runs parallel to it that's not necessarily directly related to Analog Life, but I think like we were talking about nostalgia before and some of like the funnier things from your childhood, and I guess we can relate it to Analog Life. I mean, you had regressions, like it's VR, augmented reality. Then before that was like a PlayStation 5. Is it 5 now? What are we up to PlayStation wise? Is it
5?
Is it PS5?
PS5.
PS4, PS3, remember PS2, bro? Some of the best
PS2,
games on PS2, bro.
hectic.
Hold on, wait, bro. Do you know I've still got my Game Boy, black and white?
Wow.
At my parents' house. I got the
Game
games.
Boy
It works.
Advanced? Like which one was that? The handheld Game Boy?
The game. No. I've got a Game Boy Advance and a Game Boy Color.
Have you still got a Game Boy Advanced?
at my house? Yeah,
Bro.
My parents' house. That's what
I
keep
that. Oh, you
will
keep that,
want
yeah.
to. Yeah, bro.
Keep it.
What color?
Big money.
Yellow?
Yeah.
No, purple.
Oh, that is fresh, bro. I love
That's
Game Boy Advance, man.
Yeah, bro. What a game.
Bro.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Nintendo 64 is my favorite console of
Goated.
all time. GOAT console of all time. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever seen those memes where it's like
Prove me- yeah,
Nintendo
yeah,
64
yeah.
is the greatest game of all time. Prove me wrong.
yeah.
The guy with the sign and,
Yeah.
and the desk.
I'm telling you, you got fucking Zelda. You've got Super Smash Brothers. You got Super Mario 64.
Yeah, but now they've got those ones. Now you can have everything on one device.
Yeah. They're all jailbroken.
They're all
Yeah.
yeah.
Just like a jailbroken
Yeah.
Xbox.
Bro, I used to go to Parkley Markets and get like the little DSi chips, and it was like that. It had like 2,000 games loaded onto it. Just put it on your Nintendo DS.
Oh yeah.
Bro, what about like going from like Netflix and all these Hulu and all
Streaming
these
services.
streaming services back to Blockbuster?
What about hang on?
Bro,
Before that,
that
I
was
was,
Blockbuster was-
I was Video Easy.
Oh yeah, but
Bro,
yeah.
late fees, bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
Late
I
fees,
used
honestly.
oh my god, late fees. What is wrong with my family, bro? That like I feel like
You guys would have kept it for years.
bro, literally, you rent it. It was like there was the one night new release. Then there was the 3 nights,
I forgot about
and
this.
then there was the weekly. And the
Yeah,
weekly
yeah.
was like 2-3 years older.
Old movie, yeah.
Older movies, but one night new release, you're like, it just came out of
and
the
then
movie.
and then they've got it in stock. You're like, oh, there's
Yeah.
one left. There's one left.
Yes. Oh, but then you open like.
Bro, our kids are gonna G out when we say that we had to go to the video store and we could like only rent a movie.
Even now
and if
they
they
would.
ran out,
Yeah,
they
but
ran
it's-
out.
Bro, my little cousin who's like 12, if you told him out, he'd be like, what? That's
Bro,
so
you know,
weird.
yeah.
Shut up, you little.
Yeah, but even now, like watching Netflix, do you ever go on Netflix and you just scroll through? You're just like,
It's shit.
You never pick
You just
anything.
go and never pick
Kristen's
anything.
almost finished
Yeah.
Netflix. I'm telling you, bro.
The first person who ever finished Netflix. Christian.
Well, even like the show like Binge, like it's just part of the video easy and like watching the movie was hardly the movie itself, but rather the experience. Like you go
No,
in
the
there.
time-
Call someone,
yeah.
you call your cousins and be like, oh, I just rented this movie, come over and watch it. It'd be like a thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
even going to the store on the weekend, like because during the week you go to school, whatever it may be. So it's not like you watch Netflix every night.
No.
And there's nothing. You go, oh, that new release is out, or that's coming out, whatever. And then you go there and you like go choose as many movies as you want, even old ones that haven't come out and that have been out for ages.
Yeah.
But then have you ever gone with someone and you're like, oh, let's watch this? Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's watch this. Oh,
Burning,
oh,
yeah.
Oh, shut
Bro,
up.
everyone had that. Those people they knew that had literally just like finished the video.
Seen
store.
it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
obviously a lot easier to do then. Is like, bro, they'd come through and like their parents would let them pick up like 8 movies, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how did you get that many movies? I only got one.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Family Guy? And it's the guy who runs the video store. And like,
Seth.
yeah, is it Seth? And he's like, have you seen that movie? He's like, seen it. And he's like, name any movie ever. I've seen it. And he's like Lord of the Rings, seen it. He's like, I've seen it.
So
yeah,
this is what we used to do back in the day, like talking about nostalgia. When I used to go back to Rotorua, as we've spoken about
Rotorua.
before. So my auntie used to look after me and my cousins. So all my uncles and father and stuff used to have parties and stuff like that on the weekend, and this was usually during the school holidays. So what they'll do is they'll all be in the lounge like drinking, and then me and my cousins and my auntie would get a bowl, would hand the bowl around, and everybody would put money in for the kids. So they'll put like $5 in, $20 in, whatever it may be, and then whatever that was, we'll go to the video store, buy our videos. We'll go to the supermarket, we'll buy all our
snacks.
and everything like that, and then we'll come back and we'll get the lounge room all situated.
Hectic.
With all the the lazy boys. We had 2 lazy boys. We had a big couch like this.
2 lazy boys.
Yeah, 2 lazy boys.
Loaded
What my grandparents did. Have
That's
2 lazy
massive.
boys, yeah.
That was freaking awesome, bro.
And
I
that was
have those
hectic, bro.
memories, bro. They're the best, bro.
Yeah, so that was massive
I
nostalgia.
feel like I
That's
just
so
missed the
mad.
cutoff as well. I feel like I just missed the cutoff.
What
Like
cutoff?
I'm like 99, and I got older brothers.
Oh,
You know
so
what
you
I
were
mean?
thereabouts.
As in you still had a bit
I
of
still
it.
experience all of those things,
Yeah.
and I'm like, far out. That little 2 years later, and
Yeah.
like younger brothers, different story.
Let's just say, as of tomorrow, everything is going to be cut off technology wise, right? I'm not trying to make it all doom and gloom, but what I'm rather saying is like, what would you do? How would you prepare yourself to entertain yourself? Would you go and get board games? Would you go buy a frisbee? Would you think about all that sort of stuff is going to get cut off? All the digital entertainment. What would you do? What would you like stock up on to like? If you got cut off, analog.
Can I just say as well, there has
When
been like rumors that there is going to be a global internet outage. Have you
that
heard
from
of
the
this?
sun?
Like Y2K?
This
Is that from the
conspiracy
sun?
theory, bro? I don't know if it's from the sun. Like even prior to COVID, there were people saying like there's going to be some, because Bill Gates came out prior to COVID happening, and he goes,
Said about a
he
pandemic.
spoke about a global pandemic,
Yeah.
and then COVID hit. And he's spoken about in the past cyber attacks where there's a mass internet outage and how we would survive that. Bro, imagine that. Imagine you and I feel like some big things are going to happen in the next
If
couple
he
of years.
says
bro.
it, let me tell you something.
It's going to come to
He's
fruition.
not a prophet, so he's
Yeah.
probably doing it.
Bro, literally. That's right.
Who
Yeah, but
knows?
I read a story the other day about a scientist saying something's happening with the sun and it's going to do exactly what you just said. Supposedly, I don't know.
What would
Maybe
I do?
that's-
Bro,
yeah.
I don't know, bro. I'd probably jump on the first
Bro,
fucking
you
flight
guys
out
are
of here.
but you guys are like now looking at it like, oh, like the world is ending. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, would you like go out and oh cool, like everything's kind of like, oh, it sounds so bad, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, that'd be
It sounds
easy.
terrible. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think a lot of
we should
people
find-
just sit inside their
Chess.
room
When was
going,
the last time you played chess?
bro, I love chess.
chess,
I love
table
chess.
tennis, pool.
I love chess.
I love
Are you
chess.
good at it?
I'm pretty good.
Should we play? We should play a chess
Yeah,
game.
Let's see, it's
I
all
used to-
tactics, but you gotta have a good opener. I can't finish, but my brother's really good.
I used to play chess at school.
Chess is hectic. Bro. Chess is a game. The reason I love chess so much is because you have to take full ownership of every move that you make, and if you make a move and you lose, it's solely your fault. You can't blame it on anyone. It's full tactical. You make one bad move.
I just imagine Matty headbutting the chess.
And it's a
board.
game of wits, bro. Like, if someone beats you in chess,
Earthquake.
they are superior to you. Prove me wrong. If someone beats you in chess, they're superior than
Like
you.
they're just better than you.
It's a game of wits. It's intelligence. Like, I watch my brother. So I'm not as good as my 2 brothers, but my brother Michael and Rob versus each other. Bro, when we used to live all together
Yeah.
2 years ago, I'm telling you, I've watched tens of thousands of games played between them. Like literally, they would just play
As if you
all
would
night.
expect the Morgan family to be playing chess.
Bro, all we
It's
did
not-
is sit outside and play chess.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
That's
like-
pretty good though.
Not-
Going
not,
away from their analog whole life and
So,
doing that.
bro, my cousin,
stuff.
it's mad.
you know, Oliver and Rodney, my cousins who you know they are, their brother, or their older brother Andrew. I think like maybe he went to chess club once at school. Yeah. So they then started this rumor, or they started spreading around the family that he was he was the captain of the chess team. That was his thing.
Loser.
So they started calling him Checkmate.
Let's go.
And his nickname, like 50% of the time, he'll get called Andrew. 50% of the time, someone just go, "Oi, Checkmate."
Check
Just
that.
get called Checkmate.
That's, yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's a good
And
name.
then Oliver will go checkmate.
That's good.
Sorry, it wasn't funny, was it? Is it funny? It's very funny. It's very funny in our family.
Yeah. You have to be there.
character.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Couple of
I think for me it'll be pretty easy to do that. I'll
Sean
go.
will just go for a 50k run.
Yeah.
Twice a day.
Yeah, but even doing those things like you say, like even playing backgammon or playing those types of things, like that's I like doing this.
I like
that
card-
sort of
but
stuff.
card games are
Card
hectic.
games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, card games, bro. There's actually a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah,
you just got to
yeah.
brainstorm. Like, there's so many
You
games.
don't even
out
really
there.
have to brainstorm. It'll come to you like very quickly.
When was the last time you threw a frisbee?
I love
Honestly,
playing frisbee.
no, I'm asking you.
Probably
it.
like 3
Years
months ago.
Bro, it
3
is-
months ago.
Yeah, I just
Bro,
had a frisbee.
it is so much
swear.
fun. If you get a good frisbee, like you know the ones with the circle in the middle now, like not the old school ones, the new school ones.
Remember the Zorbs?
sword?
Do you remember those
Vortex!
Vortex.
Vortex,
No,
that's
don't you remember those soccer balls that you collapse?
Yeah. And you throw them like that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
they were
they're mad. Or
See?
like pop in your hand.
Or like those games where you play at the beach where you've got like the paddle and it's like a sticky ball.
Bro, see how many things there are to
Yeah.
do?
Velcro
Heaps.
ball,
Yeah.
Velcro tennis ball.
Oh, and you got the little handle?
Yeah, the hand
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Tell us your
Yeah.
tell us your analog stories. Like, tell us about like your pastimes that you reflect on that are like non-digital. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear them.
What did you enjoy doing?
Okay,
Yeah.
ready? I'm just gonna switch it up. Nostalgia again, but I had to touch on like nostalgia snacks.
Oh,
Like, bro,
yeah.
what were your
Nostalgia snacks.
favorite recess and lunch foods, bro? What about
Roll-ups.
Roll-ups. Goated. Goated.
You reckon?
Yeah, roll-ups.
They used to get stuck in my
Please
teeth
don't
and
say-
do
please
my
don't
head
say
in.
LCMs.
Bro,
Don't say
okay, now let me-
LCMs. Don't say
LCMs elite.
I
Listen.
cannot stand LCMs.
Bro, LCMs are fucking.
What
I don't
about
like
what
it.
did you guys have? Yeah, we have list snacks.
List snacks. I was about to say, bro. List snack. And you know what I loved about list snack? It was just the little thing. You peel them
Why
off.
are you saying it like that?
And you've got, because that's what me and my mate Tom Gatt used to say at school. Tom, if you're watching this, bro, because there's a list snack.
Cheese
It's
is so artificial.
Bro, the cheese is artificial, but I love
hectic.
the little how they got the little gap, but so that you can get the cracker in there to dip it. You know how it's
Bro,
all
I've
the cheese,
never
yeah.
thought of that.
That's why they put it in there, so you can really get
Bro,
that
I've
nice
always thought
ridge.
they were just being tight
Oh,
with the cheese.
see, okay.
No,
yeah.
or my favorite
So you can leverage the
Correct.
How about this?
Okay.
Chicken and
Chicken
corn
JJ's.
roll. Chicken and corn roll.
Oh,
from
Chico
the-
rolls?
No, chicken and corn roll from the
Oh,
canteen.
I used to
You
love
ever have
chicken and
those?
corn rolls, bro.
Those are hectic.
Wait, so where do you-
JJ's?
$1.
Chicken JJ's? Remember JJ's?
What about jumpies?
I had jumpies yesterday.
Yeah, the
Have 'em at the office.
Chicken jumpies.
Oh.
Goated.
Okay.
So would you get a pie or a sausage roll?
Sausage. I
tough.
used to love sausage
Nah,
rolls.
I'm more of a sausage roll man now. I had one the other day at the golf
Let me tell you
course.
about
That gets into what we're going to talk about in our next podcast.
what burns me as well, but with the sausage roll, okay. Back to jumpies. How weird. Hang on. What? Listen, back to jump. Chicken flavored kangaroos. First of all, that's fucked. Only could happen in Australia.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
never
mean?
thought about that.
Let me make a product of food that's chicken flavored kangaroos. Number one weird thing. Second thing, sausage rolls, bro. How annoying when they only give you one tomato sauce. Like literally, you're squeezing the life out
Can
of
I
that
get
thing.
another one? That'll be 20 cents.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
Yes, no, why? The little Asian bakers? No.
Or just go to
We
the...
were going so well.
The Asian bakery.
yeah.
Oh, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's what I mean. The Asian bakery.
The Asian bakery.
And pipsqueaks.
Yeah, but even if you go to the...
We're
What about if you
doing
go to the...
so well. We made it 39 minutes.
Yeah,
and
you'll go to the
57
shop
seconds.
and you'll get the lolly bags.
Oh, yeah, 10
Those
cent
are
lollies,
hectic.
bro.
Yeah,
They were
10
hectic.
lollies.
Red frogs?
Red frogs.
Red
Oh,
frogs.
red frogs.
Tony Shaw Swim School. Red
Ooh.
frogs.
Zombies?
Zombie. Which one?
Zombies.
Zombie chews?
Zombie chews, yeah.
Oh, zombie chews.
Zombie chews.
Zappos?
Zombie.
chews.
You remember the song?
Zappos, yeah, Zappos.
Zappo's still around.
Zappos still are around.
Yeah.
So is a lot of
What's
things.
not around anymore? Bro, do you remember when they got rid of... They have them back now. Herb and Spice kettle chips are back now. But they disappeared for like 15
Okay, listen, what about,
years.
do you remember Scooby-Doo's? They were like the, okay, let me explain if anyone's watching this. So they're like a little biscuit treat, all right? And they've got these like ridges in them with caramel. Sometimes you could get Twix or M&M flavor. Insanely
Never heard
delicious.
of them.
Bro.
Did you just have the lollies of Redskins?
Yeah, they've
They're
changed
not
the
around
name.
anymore. Yeah.
Oh,
They've changed the
yeah.
name.
Bro, that
Bro, those were hectic.
Why
bro.
did they change the name?
Bro, you know what?
I don't know because it's
not
like
offensive.
Native
Yeah, it's
American.
not, but-
Native American.
Okay, what about
It's probably offensive to
they
them.
changed coon cheese to cheer cheese?
Yeah, yeah,
Cheers.
cheers. Yeah, yeah,
That's
coon.
funny.
But it's funny because coon isn't a word that's used here at
No.
all.
Not even. Is it even used?
I
on
don't
the
even.
sense?
I'd have to Google it.
No,
I
it's
think
Black
it's like
Lives
a
Matter and everything like that.
no,
Oh,
but,
okay,
no, but
yeah.
I think coon
BLM.
was a way to describe. Or was it a white person or a black
No,
person?
black person.
Oh, was
Is it
it?
a black person?
Yeah.
Coon.
I just remember in the South Park episode where it's like the king.
Yeah. How good South Park,
When
man.
he's the raccoon.
South Park is
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's like,
so good.
I don't know how South Park does.
The king.
Is it Cartman?
Yeah, Cartman.
Oh, that's good.
He's the goat.
Suck my balls, Mr. Garrison.
No, what did he say? What's that line when he says, I said, how
Suck-
would you like to... I think it's like the microphone.
Yeah, he gets the megaphone.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
South
Bro,
Park's
South
gold.
Park, I don't know how... South Park, one of the funniest... I don't know.
Bro, I know which one, but it went viral on the clips where he's like,
Where he pretended to have a
no, where he's like, if
disability.
you're riding a Harley Davidson down the street, he's like,
No, it's the funniest episode. Like, whatever. He pretends to have a disability. He pretends to have Down
Cartman.
syndrome. And he still loses every race. he goes to the Olympics. It's so funny, bro. He does like the swimming event. And he literally still loses every race.
That's so
cool.
Oh, it's so funny, bro.
It's a clever show. It's been around for a long
so good.
time
And
as well.
Their whole mantra is like, if we offend everybody, we
yeah,
offend
yeah.
nobody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's the beauty of
Yeah.
it.
Those two boys are smart boys, man.
Yeah.
So who is it? It's not Seth MacFarlane. It's Matt Groening. That's
Simpsons.
Simpsons. Okay, another nostalgia, bro. How good was Fox 8 in the morning on like animation fixation?
Sorry, bro, I
Fox 8.
didn't have Foxtel.
Bro, you don't have
dogs.
Foxtel?
No.
You don't have Foxtel?
I had Cheese
Oh,
TV.
yeah, I had Foxtel when I
Cheese
first came in.
TV.
You
Yeah.
don't know what that is?
Okay, what-
Okay, if you know what Cheese TV is,
Yeah,
drop a
100%.
comment or just send me a DM, whatever.
It's private
Because
DM.
let's just like Dragon Ball Z.
What are
Dragon
some
Ball
of
Z.
what are some of your favorite sitcoms or TV shows from growing up? Nostalgia. Go.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z, yeah. I remember I went to boarding school and it was on at 4:00 p.m. and we had to be outside of the boarding house. So we used to go into the TV room, turn the TV on. We used to close the door. We used to go around the back. We used to watch it from outside.
What about the
Just so I could watch Dragon Ball
Oh
Z.
no way, bro!
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z was
It was
elite.
hectic.
Super Saiyan. I used to like the Thornberries. I'm trying to think of
Thornberries,
like
yeah.
Nigel
Thornberry.
Thornberry.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's all you. We used to laugh like
Nigel
that.
Thornberry, pleasant to meet you, acquaintance.
Yeah, so I used to laugh, bro.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob.
That's his laugh, yeah. Patrick, yeah, was the best.
Oh, SpongeBob. This fucking fat retard pink.
We were doing so well.
Sorry. But that's
And,
sorry.
that's episode
La, la, la,
26.
la, la,
That's
la.
a lapse of concentration.
I know. No, sorry to offend. No, I'm not. I'm joking.
Alright.
Shout out Sean and Chloe and Maddie.
No, honestly, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Number
Should we
26.
do nostalgia part 2? Nah.
Nostalgia's a good
But
one.
yeah, we would love to, like this is like
Nostalgia's
one of
very
those
good.
topics I feel like everyone loves talking about. Like,
Yeah.
give us a
Back in their
shout
day.
with your, give us like text us whatever, DM us, tell us about what is nostalgic to you because like this is just stuff that we love chatting about. So,
We do.
100%. It was
We
good.
do, and we like to have a healthy balance of serious, semi-serious, your influence, our influence, and
Yeah.
the whole shebang. That's what we do here at the Dropouts.
Yeah.
That's cool.
In conclusion, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Click the bell, like, share, subscribe. We are the Dropouts, dropping out.
Let's go.
Catch ya.
Yalla.